in educational technology and instructional design. She has numerous national and international, she has done numerous national and international level workshops successfully. She has designed and facilitated to train educators in both higher education and school education. Her work has been focused on open pedagogy and the use of many innovative teacher-friendly tools to enhance digital teaching and learning. As the founder of H5pcatalog.in, educators have been empowered by her to repurpose open educational resources, that is OER, like we talked about it yesterday in one of the sessions, and publish engaging interactive content. As a Creative Commons certificate holder and passionate OER advocate, open knowledge sharing has been consistently supported by her, along with enabling educators in building accessible and equitable learning environments. Currently, she is serving as a consultant, Camerize Project, York University, Canada, where contributions are being made by her to digital learning innovation and open educational practices. She is also working as consultant in Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University, Hyderabad, India, where expertise is being provided by her in instructional design, e-content development, and open and distance learning strategies. As part of her role, various open books have also been published by her. So, ma'am has immense experience related to open educational resources, H5P. She's the founder of H5P Catalog. So I have also personally attended ma'am's session. So I definitely, and I can tell you that you are going to enjoy the session and you will definitely enjoy creating H5P interactive resources. So over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Nidhi ma'am. A very warm welcome to this session and a very good morning, all of you. I've been participating in the earlier sessions also. So just to understand the flow so that I won't repeat certain tasks. So as all you know, we will be talking about interactive resources.
Sorry to interrupt you, ma'am. Ma'am,
yes.
The screen, your entire screen is not visible. A portion of it is visible.
Okay, sorry. Okay, let me. Okay, is it good now?
Yes, ma'am, it is fine.
Okay, is it good?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So let me reshare. Okay, is it good now? Is it good now?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Yeah. Thank you. So I've been seeing this in the chat box also that you all wanted a practical session. But before that, it's always good to have a small important nuggets about what we are going to do and how we are going to do. So definitely the afternoon session, practical session will be on a development and dissemination process to understand first, and then a practical session. So before that, we will try to understand what exactly is interactivity. In my earlier sessions, I used to ask, what is exactly is interactivity, and most of the faculty used to give me a reply that it's more of the communication, like it's input and output, but just not about input and output. It's about the quality of that exchange, right? If you look at the dictionary definition here, the involvement of users, maybe you can call it students, in the exchange of information with systems, that is either mobiles or computers, and the degree, that is what important, to which this happens. So it's about the quality of the exchange, how immediate and meaningful and responsive that is. That means we can elaborate on this like a user control, how much influence the user or the student have over that happens, what is happening with that particular content piece. Similarly, how quickly and clearly that system or that content is responding, right? And whether the interaction that changes depending on the user's actions, that is, we call it adaptability. And also we call engagement, right? Student engagement, how much their interaction keeps users involved and motivated. So how much they are gonna engage with that particular piece of a content. Sometimes it also depends on the degree, the level of interaction, like a low level interactivity, like a passive one, watching a video, only you just press a play, pause, or stop, right? There is an interaction, definitely. A user is interacting with a content, but is there any further more that he or she or they can react with it? Not really, right? Except play, pause. And a medium level, that where you have certain questions in between, either in a video or a form of a multiple choice quiz, simple multiple choice quiz, but with a immediate response, that is a feedback for each question, or after entire that what you call a quiz, multiple choice quiz, right? So how thorough that multiple choice quiz is, like with a level of medium level of interactivity with a kind of a feedback. When it comes to high level interactivity, using a kind of game simulations that adapts to the decisions in real time. That means how a student is making their choice with that particular piece of a game or a simulation. Depending on that, it responses. That is a very high level of interactivity. It need not to be a game. It could be a simple text interaction. For example, you asked a question, and it is a higher order thinking skill that they have to apply certain knowledge that they have already gained to answer that particular question, application oriented, and where the user is not really correct. And then what the system will do, what the content will do, it will take back the user, that particular student, to the basics and make them understand what exactly it is, and then take them back to this level. So how a system is, the content is reacting, how the users are behaving. So we can say that it's not, the interactivity is not just about input and output, but about the quality of the exchange that happens, and also how meaningful and how quality and immediate responsive that particular piece is, right? Interactivity, when it comes to teaching and learning, everybody have to remember MG Moore of 1989 editorial, that where the piece explains about three types of interactions. But also in recent days, in between, researchers also suggested the fourth type, that is the learner and the technology. But then, yeah, it already covered here, learner and the content, right? Moore's three types of interaction is quite popular even today, though it was defined in 1989. So if interaction that is emphasizes, every instructional designer talks about these Moore's three types of interactions, that emphasizes that meaningful learning requires engagement, not just only with a content, but also with the creator of that content, that is the instructor, that is the teacher, that is you, and also with their peers, the classmates, right? He is, we can say that we can say that it's a foundational concept in theorizing actually what interactivity is in education, way back in 1989. It's a very influential framework of three types of interactions that I just mentioned on the screen here, which remains essential, especially in today's world, for both distance and face-to-face teaching and learning environments, especially when in a technology-enhanced learning environments. So the very first one is learner-content interaction, the process that how the learner is engaging with that piece of a content. So how the interaction, the engagement between the student and the material that you develop, and how to be learned with that piece of a content. So it influences, that content influences their understanding, the level of understanding and transformation of their perspectives. Maybe also they build some knowledge, they construct knowledge, right? At the same time, a learner and instructor, Who designs that particular piece of a content, that how it behaves, how it should give a response or a feedback, is the instructor, that teacher, that is you, the faculty, right? So here in when we talk about a learner content engagement, it's also about learner instructor engagement. It's just not in a face-to-face traditional classroom, but also in a blended or a fully online manner where you create some content and give them to interact with, to engage with, that even their instructor plays a role. Learner instructor interaction, which is very, very important. So the relationship between the learner and the expert, that is either teacher or instructor, involving either a guidance or through a feedback or any kind of a instructional support. The third is learner-learner interaction, the peers, the collaborative exchange among learners, including discussions or any group assignment that you provide or any joint works that they are supposed to submit some projects. So this kind of a social interaction, we all know that that boosts not only motivation, but also help them to develop critical thinking process, and very important is communication skills. So you may ask me now that this learner-learner interaction is only possible in a face-to-face manner? Not really. Thanks to technology, even in a blended mode or a fully online, it is possible. We can have virtual discussions, asynchronous or synchronous. Synchronous is live, asynchronous is not alive, but they respond to each other, but not in a on a same time. But we will, the teacher or the others will be responding in some other time, like it happens in any massive online open courses, right? So coming to talking about these three types of interactions, many modern interactive teaching methods, either it is online or offline, they're all designed to strengthen these three interactions. Why? To optimize the student engagement and learning outcomes. Our ultimate goal as a faculty is all about to see that the learning outcomes are pretty strong and we achieve them, isn't it? There is a scanner, that QR code scanner I have given here. Don't worry, it's safe. You can scan with your mobiles. Everybody will be having in their hands, right? And you can answer me. So example, like what you think of, usually I used to ask a question in my sessions that what comes to your mind when you think of interactivity in educational environment, teaching learning environment, educational setup. But then the question now is about like, what kind of interactive content that, because we just spoke about interactive content, right? So what kind, or what kind of an example that you can give? Okay, this is an interactive content for me, right? So you please give me, let us look at some examples. So interactive content that you use in your, okay, interesting. Okay. Because how many participants? There are more than 400 participants. My wall should break with your responses. I see that many of you are pretty active. Wonderful. Okay, quizzes, on Kahoot. Okay, they are very particular about. Okay, any quiz? Okay, quiz with the interactive feedback will be a correct option. Okay, board educational games. Okay, wonderful. Video with instructions. Video with instructions. We will definitely discuss on this in the afternoon session, but video with instructions means just to how to play or how to even a question to be answered in between. Yes, it is possible if it is so. Okay. Google Form and Kahoot. Google Form, I say it is more of a low level of interactivity, I feel, because we can't really give really a good responsive feedback. But I'm not denying the fact that it is interactive because the user is interacting with the content, oral questions. Okay. Wonderful. So mostly you're concentrating on quizzes and how to test their knowledge, isn't it? Okay, there might be some things that to stimulate their brains, right? Okay, I'm not asking about any tool. I'm asking about what kind. So most of you are answered like it's more of um, uh, it's like more of a quiz. Yes, I do agree with that. Thank you so much for your response. That's wonderful. Very active group. We are going to have a very good time in a practical session. So, so examples we can say quizzes, polls with immediate feedback, right? So, how they have done, how they can improve on that, right? You all mentioning some tools also here. Excellent. Or sometimes a clickable infographic, right? You have an image with some information where they can click on that particular spot and they can learn about, or they can answer certain questions, or they can even view a video. For example, you have a digestive system. You have given in an infographic, a clickable infographic that they click on each organ and they will watch a video, or they read some text, isn't it? It is possible. That could be a good interaction. And also a kind of a drag and drop activities. I'm not mentioning any tool here. I'm just talking about an example that we can say what are different types of interactive activities. Okay, so I saw that many of you are already practicing, but why are interactive resources? So we all know that we want our students to be engaged very actively and participate. So which gives them a good data to learn from and improve their understanding and also retention of that particular knowledge. So we will enable their ability, the students' ability to apply the concepts that we taught, they have learned. Not just we taught, they also we have to consider how much they have learned in a realistic scenarios. So we can enhance their critical thinking skills, problem solving skills, very much essential for future careers. And we see that the skill
Excuse me, ma'am.
is the thing. Yes.
Ma'am, your screen is not clearly visible, the presentation.
Oh,
It's blur.
is it? Shall I switch off my video? Maybe it is a network.
Ma'am, it is a bit tilted. I think you can reshare it.
Okay. I will reshare. I will reshare. I'm resharing. I'm sorry. Can you view now? Or
Right
I'll
now,
switch off my video. Where I'm sitting is I'm using my 4G.
it is visible, ma'am.
Is it? Okay. Okay. It is
Ma'am,
not
again,
direct.
again it got blurred.
Okay.
Maybe because you have changed the aspect ratio. That's
Sorry?
why. Maybe because you have changed the aspect ratio of the screen.
No,
Earlier
ma'am.
it was comparatively broad. Now, yes, it is fine.
I'll make it bigger, maybe screen.
It is fine. It is fine now.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sorry for the interruption that you had. Okay, so we are talking about why interactive resources. So it will help not only to develop their skills or what knowledge they have already learned to reinforce that particular knowledge, but it's also about that we are providing some sort of a digital literacy also, how to utilize that particular tool or certain ways of using mobiles or pads or tabs or even systems, right? So in a way, in a passive way, we are helping them to develop a digital literacy also. So also these kind of interactive activities where Sometimes when it comes to any virtual lab or a virtual lab tour or any a science experiment that you want to create some videos and show them and give them certain games and simulations to really play around with the equipment. So that not only it is enforcing the safety, but also it often bridges the gap between a theoretical knowledge and its practical application. Right? I hope you all agree with this. So interactive activities, they play a major role to really engage our students with the content, where it combines all types of mediums, like audio can be there, video can be there, your images can be part and parcel of along with text. And recently we have avatars, right? So we can have different types of mediums to engage our learners, and our ultimate goal is to give them immense opportunities to involve with the content. Who designs this interactive content? How the content should behave is the teacher. So the communication between the learner content and learner, instructor, learner, and peers, it is in faculty's hand, whichever tool you use. So we have to think about all these things depending upon the context that you are in. So we saw some examples, but when we talk about types of interactive activities, various types, right? It could be simulation, or I just spoke about virtual lab, right? Or even a simple discussion that triggers a debate. These days, we have even very good tools to really embed them into pros and cons, to explain them so that they can just interact with and they can learn each other's perspective also as part of it. And different types of games and infographics, these are various types that we can develop. So we will talk more deeply about this in the coming session. There are various tools and various types of interactive content. What is very, very important is a right resource type that not only saves your time or the developing time, but also ensures that impact that creates. It's not just important to create content, it's also important to see the impact that it is creating on the end user, the stakeholder, whoever that we are targeting. Our target audience are class 8 people, or class 2, or class 10, or class 12. So what kind of an impact that it is creating when you develop an audio resource or a video resource or an interactive resource? So you have to understand. And also we have to make sure that it matches our learning goals. What is that we defined as a goal? Are we meeting it? We have to consider their accessibility of the technology, because here we are talking about technology enhanced learning. Whether they have that particular device to access, whether the content and the tool that you chose to develop that content is responsive enough to cater to all sorts of audience uses different types of devices. And also, if you want to scale that content, how good it is. And how simple, at the same time, giving a good boost in students' engagement, that particular tool or the content is. And also you have to align with time and technology constraints. How much time you have. For example, next week or next semester, I'm going to deliver my entire sessions using interactive content in the class. So you have 6 months run up. In 6 months, how much time you cater to plan and then prepare, and what kind of a technology you have. All these constraints, and you have to keep in mind and act accordingly in the context that you are in. So I always say that let the situation demand, let the content demand, because you know how to use that particular tool, tech tool, just not to experiment. You experiment for yourself. But when it comes to disseminate that knowledge to your students, if you think that content really creates an impact, if you apply it creatively, utilizing particular tool that creates an impact, yes, please go ahead. When the content demands and the learner needs, yes, you have to develop that particular piece of interactive activity. Because you know the tool, because you know how to use it, just for the sake of it, please never practice it. That's my sincere request, not an advice. Coming to a quick recap, because I've given time only till 11:20, 3 minutes left. And the definition, we spoke about interactive resources and purposes and benefits also, and types, and choosing a right type based on the context is very important. That's what we just discussed about. Thank you so much for your patient listening. I know you all require a hands-on session, but definitely before that, we need little theoretical parts, the nuggets that you should know. And let me know if you have any questions. The floor is yours now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So we will see if anyone asks a question right now, like in the morning.